Hey, I'm Shelby Paget, and we're doing a full write-up and review for Vital on the ride engineering triple clamp setup for my YZ250. And we're actually doing this write-up because ride engineering makes a set of triple clamps that accommodates the HPSD, or the steering damper that comes stock on a lot of the Hondas. The main reason we pursued this project was because I've gone through a few months now. I'm trying to fine-tune my suspension settings, getting my bike to handle really planted, coming in and out of corners, especially on the front end. So I've gotten the typical things done, where we've got spring rates for my weight and speed. Played a little bit with the oil settings and how many cc's are in the fork tubes. And one of the last things I really noticed after that, with the stock settings, the YZs handle amazingly well. So we wanted to take one of the only kind of hiccups that I found in the suspension, where, coming into braking sections, the second you let off the throttle and transition to braking into a corner on a rough section of the track, you'd get a little bit of a slight head twitch back and forth. And this was really unsettling, not only for me pushing into corners, but also just being able to set your line properly through ruts and corners. So what I wanted to do is try to find a way to address that. And I did some online researching. A lot of people have been adapting the HPSD dampers to their front ends to help kind of stabilize the front end without going overboard with the full off-road type of damper kit. So I wanted to go ahead and see if I could do that, and found out that with the stock clamps on the YZ250, they don't have enough mass or metal to accommodate the bracket that you would need to mount the HPSD. So reached out to Ride Engineering and found out that they make a clamp setup that accommodates the bracket. So they sent me a set of the clamps, a 23.5 offset versus a 25mm stock offset on the YZ250. And that offset, I was told, is going to really kind of help us with dipping into corners a little bit quicker, making the turn in easier for me. And then of course accommodating the damper on there with a Ride Engineering bracket mount system, smoothing everything out on the front end altogether, so that we're going into corners and not getting a head twitch. When I'm picking ruts or lines through corners, everything's going to be more planted, and I'll feel more confident in where I'm putting the front end of the bike. And so we've been riding with it about maybe a month now, and I've done everything from off-road single track to motocross tracks to free riding out in the hills and just kind of playing around. So the bike handles night and day different with the clamp setup and the offset change, as well as the rubber mounted bushing sets that come with the clamp setup that you'll see in the review. And then the damper, just to top it all off, has made the front end of this YZ extremely confident feeling and very confidence inspiring when I'm going into corners or coming out over braking bumps or rough sections of the track. So all in all, if you're looking to just kind of steady up the front end on your bike and make that handling more confident, inspiring, going into corners or coming through rough sections, I highly recommend the HPSD damper setup with the Ride Engineering clamps, with the offsets that Ride Engineering recommends for your style of riding. And for further information, just check out the review that's been written up, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.